Welcome back to another episode of Demystifying the USALI. In this segment, we will dive deep into three crucial areas. To kick things off, let's begin by delving into the departmental payroll titles section, which marks the culmination of Part 1. After that, our attention will pivot towards Part 2, focusing on financial statements. A comprehensive set of financial statements includes key components like the balance sheet, statement of income, statement of comprehensive income, statement of owner's equity, statement of cash flows, and the corresponding notes. Concluding our exploration, we'll turn our attention to Part 4, the Revenue and Expense Guide. This guide emerges as an indispensable asset, streamlining the process of locating essential information within the USALI book. Let's begin with finishing Part 1. Right after the 14 schedules, the final section is entitled Departmental Payroll Titles. Here, the customary job titles that are typically associated with different departments within a lodging establishment are provided. While there could be some deviations based on specific operators or chains, properties usually adhere to the titles provided in this section. Once again, this is not an all-inclusive listing, and operators may create new titles. This could create issues with the comparability of the information. However, from a macro level, comparability is unaffected if payroll titles are distinguished between management and non-management positions. The allocation of payroll titles to various departmental subcategories is dictated by the operational and supervisory responsibilities linked to each role. Management roles encompass those accountable for overseeing employees and often entail full-time salaried positions. In contrast, non-management roles do not involve supervisory duties. The working hours for non-management staff may fluctuate based on business levels. Compensation for these roles usually follows an hourly, weekly, or monthly structure, with consideration given to overtime rather than being based on an annual arrangement. To provide a clearer picture, let's delve into the specifics of the Property Operation and Maintenance Department. This department's management roles encompass positions such as Director of Engineering, Chief Engineer, Engineering Manager, Environmental Manager, and Energy Manager. Transitioning to the other side of the spectrum, we encounter a diverse array of non-management payroll titles. This encompassing range includes roles like groundskeeper, equipment operator, heavy machine operator, general maintenance engineer, general maintenance laborer, carpenter, electrician, painter, plumber, engineering coordinator, mechanic, and in certain instances, even lifeguards for properties that lack health clubs or spas. Now, let's focus our attention to Part 2 of the USALI book. This section is dedicated to financial statements. This segment offers a full set of essential financial statements such as the balance sheet, statement of income, statement of comprehensive income, statement of owner's equity, statement of cash flows, and their accompanying notes. Part 2 is thoughtfully divided into 6 sections, each dedicated to one of these statements. Section 1 presents the balance sheet, a detail of how assets, liabilities, and equity accounts are normally presented. Section 2, the statement of owner's equity, is explored through 4 distinct perspectives: corporation, partnership, limited liability company, and sole proprietorship. Section 3 takes us through a sample statement of income, dissecting revenues, expenses, and income taxes to arrive at the net income figure. Shifting to Section 4, an example of the statement of comprehensive income is presented. This statement encapsulates non-owner activities that influence an entity's equity. Notably, the standard practice recommends a separate presentation for the statement of owner's equity in periods marked by significant account activity. Additionally, formats tailored for corporations, partnerships, limited liability companies, and sole proprietorships are shared. Section 5, the Statement of Cash Flows, takes center stage, presenting both direct and indirect methods and comprehensive account descriptions. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, where the spotlight falls squarely on the notes to the financial statements. This crucial section presents a comprehensive compendium of standard disclosures, encompassing a wide array of topics from earnings per share and inventory methods to capitalization policies and beyond. Nevertheless, consider this only a glimpse. For an exhaustive list of disclosure items, it is advisable to refer to the comprehensive USALI book. Transitioning to our final segment, our focus now shifts to Part 4, the Revenue and Expense Guide. Crafted as a reference tool akin to a dictionary, this guide proves to be a valuable aid for professionals in the lodging industry. It facilitates the classification of various revenue and expense items in alignment with the standard industry practice, providing a systematic framework for accurate recording. Encompassing over 100 pages, the Revenue and Expense Guide is structured into two main groups, the Revenue Guide and the Expense Guide. Each of these is further subdivided into sections that meticulously arrange items in alphabetical order and categorize them by department or schedule. Within each of these sections, a trio of columns awaits your perusal. The first column presents an alphabetical list of items slated for recording. The second column pinpoints the relevant department or schedule, while the third column specifies the appropriate line item or account name. Venturing into Section 2 of the Expense Guide, you'll discover expense items applicable across multiple departments or schedules. Following this, there's an alphabetical listing of individual departments or schedules. This strategic arrangement eliminates redundancy, recognizing that numerous expenses have relevance across various departments. Keep in mind that certain items might assume different names depending on your hotel's brand. Should you operate under a specific brand, referring to their standards for a consistent classification approach is prudent. In summation, this overview provided an overview of the departmental payroll titles section, delved into Section 3, the financial statements, and introduced the practicality of Section 4's Revenue and Expense Guide within the standard industry practice. Armed with this knowledge, your understanding of the contents and value of the USALI continues to increase. The next video will provide an overview of the ratios and metrics found in the USALI, another tool to help you analyze your hotel's financial performance.